Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 19 of the Off the Shelf Hobby Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Gazable Trades, and I am joined by...
For doing this, is it me? It's me, George. Hello.
It's weird now, because there's no Alex, so yeah, you have to go straight to you. Oh. John's muted.
He's muted.
I'm eating wasabi peas, leave me alone.
Christ alive.
Yeah. I
John's here too.
I looked at the screen, I was just like, and we were here with the Cabalite. There we go.
So yeah,
sorted.
we've got a Cabalite and another... The Strongcast Lecternal until I find another image to put there. Because I have no time to do these things. I would have put my Stormcast up there if I had a picture on my PC, which I don't. So, yeah, it's fine. Because I painted some Stormcast. I did it. I finished, technically.
You painted a squad.
It's technically a squad. It's not a full
which
box.
To me is shocking.
It's not a full box. But it's, you know, I painted 5 of them with basing. It was great.
That's a
legitimately impressed.
Yeah. They were really fun to paint. I really liked them. You can see them on my Twitter at Gazable Trades. My Hallowed Knights. And I'm like, oh, I want to paint more of them now.
They're contagious.
They are contagious.
It's like you paint one and it's like looking down and seeing you've been bitten and you're like, oh no.
It's.
Oh, no,
I feel like they're better to paint than Space Marines. I don't know why.
Because they're more interesting.
Yeah, because they've just got more interesting details.
They do have a lot more going on in terms of just.
They're
like,
not freaking Roblox characters.
I'd say Primaris are nice to paint. But
I mean, even then,
I think Firstborn miserable.
Yeah, no, I don't want to be in the situation where I have to paint Firstborn. Like, fuck that.
The thing with Liberators and stuff like that,
they're a good size. They've got really, it's really easy to highlight them as well.
It's a case of the amount of hammers you get per squad is a little wobbly sometimes. I know with Sequitors, you can have, I think it's 2 per 5.
Yeah, but you only get 1 in the box.
But the Sequitur Prime can have the
big hammer.
Can have the hammer as well. So you have 3 per 5 or 5 per 10. So you just take them in units of 5 and get 3 hammers a piece every time.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, because with these ones, one thing I noticed is that they have this weird thing on their back that has the scroll that comes off. So there's actually not enough of them in the box. I counted.
I think it's just like an optional thing.
Oh, I thought you had... Because I looked at the instruction, but, after these go on everything? Oh, okay. It's just going to be weird, because some of them are going to have it and some aren't. It's like, okay, fuck it.
None of these have them.
Yeah, but I'm really happy with them. I actually tried to... I got some nice basing on there. Actually trying to do a grassy base. I know it's hard to show on camera.
Loved the base that you did.
Yeah, to be fair, I've used all my green stuff now because I'm doing a similar basing scheme on the vampires. And I used literally all of my green stuff that I had just to do the the base for the Vengorian Lord. Also, yeah, fuck those models. Fuck the Vengorian Lord. It's so shit to put together. Holy Christ. Like, it's a really nice model. It looks gorgeous. Like, I've built it as Luca Vi because you can't really not do, like, it's difficult to, like, mix and match the 2 sides. Which is a bit fucky.
Change the heads.
You can, but I prefer the female head because of the hair. And I'll just be like, it's not Luca Vi. Like, it's just a Vengorian Lord. Because it's not really different. Like, the weapon isn't different. It's the same profile. It's just the abilities are different. So as long as you're reading the Vengorian Lord one, I don't see a problem with it. So, I don't know. I thought the female one looked a bit more visually interesting. But I used all of my green stuff just to be able to do the cobblestone version of the base. And I bought some, like, red plants, like dead plants, to go on the bases as well, because they're going to be the antithesis of the other Stormcast, because they're going to be like the competing thing in the realm of life. So they're going to have the dead grass around them, but the same, like, cobblestone feel.
I like the I like the image of that.
Yeah. But I've been starting to try and paint a Blood Knight, just to kind of piss the bat with the scheme. I'm going with like a regal purple. I'm like, all right, that's cool. But I keep staring at him like, I don't know what to do to it. Or like, I feel like I should add more because I'm keeping them like pretty much all the plating, including the horse and the rider, to be silver. I think a wash will probably help, but it's like I feel like I'm not doing enough to it. You know what I mean?
No, less is more.
Yeah, I
Keep it
guess.
simple. Wait,
So,
actually, do you have any to hand? Hold up the camera. I want to see.
So here's what I got so far. I'll bring the light over. So
Okay?
it's hard to see, but you can see like it's a purple. The horse itself is brown, and pretty much the entire thing, apart from that, is silver. So I think the wash will probably help with that.
Oh yeah, if it's metals, then the wash is like 98% of the
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yep.
it's kind of weird like that. But to be fair, I've been also using my my painting handle, the Red Grass Games one. I really like it. It's nice. It's not okay. Right, hang on. Where's my other one? Here it is. Right. So for anyone who's listening to the audio version of this, it sucks to be you right now. You should watch the video on YouTube whenever I upload it, or on Twitch. But so here's the comparison, right? So here's the base one. This is the GW Citadel one, right? It's small, stubby, and it doesn't fully fit in the hand. It works for what it is, but you have to basically use blue tack, cover the top, and then that's how you get, like, you can just stick something onto it, and you can actually get more angular with it. Otherwise, you've got, like, a clamp, which sits across it, and I feel like the clamp is quite clunky, because it's hard to be able to, like, see underneath without having to remove it, and more often times than not, I'll just take it off and paint it while I'm holding it, right?
Yeah, it's good. You got to get around the sort of big lips on either end of it.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of fucked. But
You gotta pull it apart and get it to like spring.
Yeah.
And it's like it's not with
This one, I want to point out. So this is Red Grass Games. This is an independent company. It's cheaper than the GW one, the new GW one. I think I paid £12 for this, right?
All right.
It's a nice large handle, and it actually fits pretty much all of my hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the top of it comes off, so that's very convenient because you can have multiple tops, and it's a putty that sits in there like an actual dedicated sticking putty. So you can actually put the models in there, stick it to bases, and then when you're not doing it, you're doing things in batches, take it off, pop it aside, put a new top on, which is really nice. And then also it's 360. It rotates, which is really, like, the more I've used this now and I've gotten used to it, just to be able to, like, rotate so I'm matching sides properly without having to, like, spin it around in my hand. It's nice. It's like a more convenient feature. But hey, I think it works really well. I would recommend this way over any of the GW ones. If you needed a dedicated painting handle and you aren't just using a piece of cork with blue tack stuck to the top of it, like, you know, it's up to you. If you're willing to pay for some more fun hobby toys, I would recommend it. The next step, I think, they have like a new wet palette coming out, and to be fair, actually, I really like my wet palette. I just keep halfway, like every time I refill it, I can't get the water levels right, and I think that's just a problem with wet palettes in general, because it's the thing of like it's a sponge you're having to rely on, and you either have not enough water so that your paint just dries out immediately, and then you're just using a normal palette, or you put too much water, it goes everywhere, and then everything is so water diluted it's useless. You know? So I don't know. I have to get used to it. But yeah, no, I've actually been hobbying since last week. I was surprised.
Me too.
Yeah, John, you've done some Cavalites.
Done some Cavalites, and I've actually played some. Well, a Games Workshop game. I played some Blood Bowl.
Fuck, that is rare. Oh yes, because you played against Wade, didn't you?
I did.
Ooh, some actual meat space Blood Bowl.
Meat Space Blood Bowl, yeah.
No, it was a good game. Unfortunately, did lose, but also one of my players died, so win-win.
Yeah, it's great content.
No, it was really good fun.
Yeah, Wade, I believe, is painting synthwave lizard men. Is her theme?
Yes.
So
yeah, so lots of bright blues and pinks and stuff, and
they look really good from when we've seen them on hobby streams. So like,
yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing the full pictures when they're done and based. Looking forward to that.
Oh, there you go. I've just been thrown a Saurus.
It'll be hard to see on the camera.
Yeah, any of that?
It is very bright. It's like a blue mixing with a purple, like gradient, and then like pink on the highlights.
you can see the colors pretty nice.
Yeah, it's
But
true.
yeah,
It shows how
right,
bright it
and
is.
at some point we'll get a picture up on here because they are super detailed.
Yes, we will.
She's
We
done a
will have to
great
get some
job.
good pictures. And I mean, George, you're always doing hobbying. Like every time you're on camera, you're painting.
Yep.
That's because yeah, pretty much. Most of the stuff I do is on this. Like all I've done this week is glue the head on this rat.
To be fair, I have done more hobbying in the last week than I have in the past 4 months. To be fair,
Why is that?
Ugh.
What's been your motivation?
I don't know. For some reason, when I just sat down and I painted, what was it, Neve Black Talon?
The Stormcast.
Yeah, no, it is honestly the Stormcast. So I sat down.
I did
And
the same thing in January.
I was, what was it? We were talking about Stormcast, and we were talking about the lore after the podcast one day.
Mhm.
And then I think we had another follow-up conversation, which was just me saying about like, oh no, it was after the 3rd edition stuff, and then we were looking at the Stormcast schemes, and pretty much because you and Alex and pretty much we all agreed the gold looks pretty shit.
Yeah,
Oh,
we were
yeah,
saying how
yeah, we all
Stormcasts
agreed
are
on that.
really, really cool, and the worst Stormcast are the ones that they like,
show off the most. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, right, okay, let's have a look at some other schemes. So I had a look at them, and then I was like, I didn't want to go with the Turquoise Boys, because that's the one Alex is doing. What was the one that you were doing? You were doing Glim's Forge, that storm host.
Yeah, well, I've got the Anvils of the Helden Hammer.
Anvils of Hell, which is the black and
It's the black and gold.
yeah, which I really liked. Like, and I was thinking, in reality, I was one, as weird as it is. I know you don't like mini wargaming, but they did do one thing which I thought was really cool, which was a narrative campaign where they basically made Deathwatch Stormcast. And the idea was that there was a reforging in the Realm of Death. They had completely black armor from different storm hosts, and the armor was silver. And they actually had like a really cool narrative campaign. I'm like, oh, that sounds sick actually. But I already have Deathwatch, so I was like, right, I'm scrolling through.
I was gonna say that is literally just the Death Watch, but like
Yeah, it's just the Stormcast one. I'm like, yeah, that's fair. But then I looked through, and then I saw the Hallowed Knights, and then I was reading stuff about the Hallowed Knights, and then I saw that Guard of Steel Soul existed. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that model looks fucking sick. The rules are kind of shit.
No, the rules are pretty solid from what I remember.
It was a 5-up to ignore it was a 5-up feel no pain against mortal wounds against spells only. Oh no, it was also to ignore the effects, and you could also, if you cast a friendly spell, you could also ignore your own friendly spells.
Let me double check.
Pretty sure.
it's not bad.
It's not bad, no. But the problem is that you have to roll it for your own spells.
I
So
think
if you're
you
not
can roll.
No, you have to. There was a designer's commentary on it, and he said no, you have
Oh,
to.
really?
Yeah, I was like, But then I looked at the scheme, and then I looked at like all the fluff and stuff, because I was thinking for the vampires already, the Realm of Life to match my Bone Reapers. And then I saw the fact that they hang out in the Realm of Life. They actually were the storm host that helped Alariel. I'm like, oh, that sounds pretty sick. Looking through more, like they actually got a lot of books about them as well. And then I saw the scheme. I'm like, it's silver but with the gold accents and the blue, like quite a bright blue. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, I want to paint that. Pulled out, realized I still had Neve Black Talon because I never painted her.
Yeah.
And just had a go with what I had, and I was like, that actually fucked my sleep schedule. That's how hard I was painting her. I didn't finish.
I remember that actually.
Yeah, I started about 10, and I didn't finish until about 4 in the morning, because I just kept painting. And it's been a very long time since I've had that with a model. I'm like, I need more. I need more Stormcast. So I bought more. I bought Goddess, and I bought a squad of Liberators, because. Then I highly doubt Liberators are going anywhere for 3rd edition, and then the 3rd edition box is going to come out soon, which has more Stormcast in it.
Be the cheap option essentially.
Yeah, and plus, I didn't know what to do with the Sequators. I didn't really know, because when I was looking at the existing rules, I'm like, there's something that's really cool, and it was a battalion that was not. It was Liberator based. It was one of the Watch keeps from the Be'lakor book, not Be'lakor. And the entire if you had because you could give your ability to your Liberators, which was they were +1 save and then +1 attack.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's pretty sick actually as an idea, because they already had a good save, and just give them more attacks with their hammers. Fuck yeah, I'd want that. That sounds really cool as an idea.
It's like if they don't move or something, right?
Yeah, but if they don't move and they're on an objective, and obviously you get them onto objective, like, fuck it, yeah.
You just sit there.
The problem is that you don't if you take them like that, you don't get the teleportation ability, but you had other abilities instead, which is like, you know. But then obviously that's probably going to get thrown out the window when you know, third edition comes out.
It's not particularly what you use Liberators for either way.
Yeah.
If you want something to go up the board, you're going to take like Vanguard units or mounted units.
Yeah,
like...
but I think in that battalion there was a Vanguard thing, and I think you also gave them bonuses as well. I can't remember off the top of my head without having to go and look for it.
It's probably the.
It was the longbow crossman. It was the long crossbows.
Right.
The ones that had like the fucking stand for.
Yeah, okay,
and it's like I was like, I kind of wanted those. They look really cool. But again, there's no point in me buying much up. Like, I'm gonna finish these. There's no point in me buying anything else because the third edition box is coming out, which we'll talk about at least a little bit. We'll mention it because there is the reveal stream on Saturday. And I'm like, I want more. I'm gonna paint through my vampires as well because I think I need to finish a model with the vampires for me to really be like, right, I know what I'm doing now.
Yeah, I think you should definitely focus on the Blood Knights for that then, because those definitely.
I've got the one in progress. I've got the one in progress. I need more green stuff in order to do the bases. Because I actually have none. I was hoping to try and get from Green Stuff World specifically. It's called Brown Stuff.
Brown stuff.
Yeah. Blue stuff, brown stuff, and green stuff. But brown stuff, saw it was a Dana Howell video, and she was going through her basing tutorials, and she was using brown stuff, which is. It's better for covering wider areas.
I was going to say
because it doesn't need a mixing. Like the mixing agent is already kind of built into it. Like
it's
sort of
just
the hardening,
essentially.
Pretty much. But then flatten that out, spray that. Great, I've got my cobblestone because I've got my roller for it too. But again, they're all out of stock. They're out of stock fucking everywhere because they've had such issues with pandemic. It's like, So I at least can't finish the bases, but I can do Luke of I, which isn't too bad. And I do want to paint it. I just don't know how to tackle it.
I think I bought green stuff. Once, and I've got this much left.
Yeah, no, I was the same. And then when I did the rollers for the scheme, and I'm like, I really like this. This worked really well. And I'm like, fuck, I need more, and I hate it. I hate green stuff so much.
I think the most I used was when I was building the God, I still haven't used it. The Seraptech Heavy Construct.
Oh yeah, because that's all resin though as well.
It's all resin.
Yeah.
I need to crack that out again at some point and work.
We will do. I mean, hey, we can actually potentially go and play at Firestorm soon. Because they're opening for booking. They've opened for bookings now on the battlefields.
Yeah, I could have gone. You could have gone this week.
Yeah. It was starting this week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, the thing is me doing that, wearing a mask with the face issues I have in this heat would suck ass.
Yeah.
I would much rather have someone come over to my house, which we're allowed to do, and then like a one-person visit and then actually play on my own table, because at least I can temperature control it.
Yeah.
So, but that's something we can figure out.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's no option in Firestorm to crack a window, is there?
No, until they move into their new place. And actually, to be fair, I reminded myself I need to email them about what they're gonna do if they have any idea of how their streaming setup is gonna work for the new place, because I'm like, hang on, I don't think I have a laptop we could use for streaming if we had to go somewhere.
That's a good point. Yeah,
and we need to be able to do that. I think Chrissy might have her old laptop. May work. It may be usable. I'll have to find out, but yeah, because they had, I think before they had their own system just pre-set up that you just logged into and used. I'm like, oh, that could work, but we'll have to find out for when we do the tournaments. That's gonna be fun.
Definitely.
Now, I've done a lot of rambling. Does anyone want to talk about anything before we talk on about existing news things?
I feel like I had a thing. I just need to paint stuff because I've got like until Wednesday, and then all my deadlines are pretty much in by then.
That's true.
And then I've got, from Wednesday, I've got 2 weeks until I need to have stuff painted for a tournament. And I'm, like,
Oh yeah,
torn
because the
between-
whole thing's pretty soon, isn't it?
I'm torn between 2 lists. Either way, I've got to paint.
Are you taking
Like-
rats?
I've got to paint 3 of these.
Oh, the Norholes, yeah.
I've got to paint this bastard, which
Yeah.
is it's a Master Molden model, which I don't actually have one of these. And I'm taking 2 of them.
Mm.
One I've got the rat with the long poking stick,
Yeah.
and then I've got that one. But I'm also thinking I'm going to take a Screaming Bell. I built it.
You gotta
I've
paint
got
it,
to,
though.
I've got to find the Grey Seer because he's fallen off somewhere, and then
Oh,
I've got to
no.
paint. I've got to paint all of that.
So you're definitely taking rats to
I'm gonna take
the
rats.
tournament. Yeah, yeah. To be fair, actually, because I remember Alex wanted to do the video. I don't know whether we want to, because I don't know how we want to do that, because it's like doing a before and after thing with the tournament. Do we want to do that with do we want to try and talk to Rob about that beforehand?
Yeah, give him a shout. Why not?
Yeah, because I'd rather have an idea for what the video would be before I even think about approaching him. And I don't know what we do. Like, I understand the idea of the before and after, but I'm like, what would Rob be doing? You know?
No, I mean just be literally just like, you know, you can have an interview with someone who's going to the tournament for the first time and just see if he wants to do that. That's all.
Yeah, we'll have a chat. Yeah, we'll hash out some more details after podcast. But yeah, I do want to definitely actually have more of a direct chat with Rob at some point because he seems like an absolute lad.
I mean, I was gonna say I don't think that's anything relevant to setting up a video. I think that's just because I want to have a chat with him.
Well, no,
Seems fine.
because I want to be able to do a video at the as well as in addition to. So hopefully we can do something. We'll figure something out. Right. There's actually been a lot that's happened over the last week in terms of Warhammer stuff. There's obviously the big thing being Age of Sigmar box, the Dominion box, which is now what it's called. People thought it was Horus Heresy because of the colour and font they used and misled everybody. And all the Horus Heresy players were understandably upset. But
The
Sigmar,
Horus Heresy players, who cares?
yeah, I'm not saying anything. I want to be a Horus Heresy player, but you know,
Horus Heresy players don't have rights.
Jesus,
Your game ended 10,000 years ago. It's whatever.
it's gone now. It's gone
Yep.
now. It's all about Sigmar. But yeah, so we've got the Dominion box. There's really not much we can fucking say. The stream, they're doing a stream for it on Saturday. We will see what's in the box, and we will talk about it after the fact. Because I don't know what time are they doing the stream? Is it a midday one or is it an evening one?
Let me
6
check.
p.m.
Oh, so me and John are definitely not going to be here.
I think, unless I read the wrong row.
Saturday, 6 p.m.
Yeah, 6 p.m.
Fuck. Yeah,
Why am I not going to be there?
It depends on when. Are we?
Oh, Jake's thing. Yeah,
Jake,
got it.
we're doing a thing at Jake's.
Yes.
Within
Hopefully, paint.
within limit, because we have double check guidelines. We're having a painting thing at Jake's house because he wants to do that. I'm like, right, I'll have a barbecue. So we'll at least be check out our Twitters because we will be talking about stuff. I will definitely be posting about stuff, and saying about how cool the Stormcast look.
The 3 of you having like a barbecue and they're just crowded around like an iPhone.
Yeah, no, I will. I'll be doing that. Jake and John will be drinking, and I'll just be there like, God, shut the fuck up.
Oh god, yeah. Just gonna be like,
I'll just wait until after.
posting a quick stream of just like, hey guys, just saw the new release and super excited. And behind him, you just hear, boop, hey!
just play fucking beer pong. But well, yeah, that's happening. You know, great. New faction, cool. We don't know what the fuck it is yet. It's probably Hobgoblins, which we talked about last week. Which I mean,
I
think
don't
if
know
it's
why the
Hobgoblins-
probably is coming from that. I don't know why people are so expecting it to be something completely new.
I hope it's something new. I would like it to be something new, because at least with Sigmar, they can just make new stuff. Like, yes, obviously, as we mentioned last week, things are currently based in stuff that already exists. You know, great, but they have a bit more license to be able to like, oh, here's a new thing. You know, fuck it. And it's like, oh, okay, right, this is pretty new. They actually have license to do that compared to 40k, which they can't. Imagine a new faction coming out in 40k that didn't exist before. Fucking imagine that.
Imagine like doing anything interesting in 40k instead
exactly.
of making the same things again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair,
anyone? Can I interest anyone in a Primaris Lieutenant?
I was
No?
gonna say,
Anyone?
speaking of
Is it named?
doing the same thing over again, let's talk about what the sisters are getting. If I quickly go to that screen, because the sisters are getting prayers, and they sound
they are.
very much like the because it's from a priest.
Oh yeah, they're getting the
They're getting hymns. Hymns is what they're called.
Everyone's having to go at with the face on it.
Yes, but hey, this is yeah. So the sisters for their upcoming release. It is confirmed. It is coming out in June. That has been confirmed now. So middle of June, hopefully end of June, we're getting that. That means July will be Orcs, and then August will probably be both Grey Knights and Thousand Suns. Hopefully, but we'll get onto that in a bit. Sisters. So, because it's now coming out in June, we're actually going to start seeing a bit more rules about sisters. So they're getting their time in the limelight. They already had it. They've had it for the last 6 months. But you're getting hymns now. They are pretty much as you would expect. They are very similar to chaplain catechisms and prayers and things from Space Marines, but the sisters versions.
Yep.
Every priest in your army can intone a hymn in the command phase.
Wait, every priest?
It says every priest, which means at least that these will be going off a lot.
Never
With
mind.
the amount of things that the priest keyword.
Yeah, there's a lot.
So
not quite a few. There's like
there's more than one.
Yeah.
Which in reality, to be able to do the same thing in Space Marines, you need, to be fair, I think the balance is like Space Marines get a priest and they get psychic powers. Sisters only get the chance. They don't have psychic. But they also have acts of faith and potentially however the things work. So I guess that's the balance of being able to have more prayers. It's a give and take. So
and you get the other thing. I can't remember what they're called.
I don't know. I don't play sisters. I don't know these things.
You roll 2 dice and you get traits based on what you roll.
Oh yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah. So every priest can use them supposedly, as they've described here. They're in a command phase similar to the existing prayers that we're getting, and we got the Catechism of Repugnance and the Chorus of Spiritual Fortitude.
This is gross.
So let's go through the Catechism. Right. If this hymn is inspiring, select one friendly Adeptus Sororitas core or character within 6 of the priest. Each time a model in that unit makes a ranged attack with a bolt weapon, an unmodified hit roll of a 6 automatically wounds the target. And in addition, if the attack targets a unit within half range, +1 AP.
That's gross.
That is fucking gross.
That's AP3 Stormbolters that do 2 damage apiece.
Right, so I was going to say, this is one of those things which, if someone doesn't play this army, and as a sisters player you go, okay, like, on my turn I'm going to do this, which means they get, 6 is automatically wound, and also +1 AP at half range. Also I'm going to do, and you just, as the player on the other side of the table, you go, wait, what the fuck? That seems ridiculous.
That's the entire point. To be fair, it's the same thing
gross.
Of like, right, okay, so I'm a Drukhari player, all my stuff is charging you now. Oh, by the way, combat drugs.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say same thing with.
It's the same thing with every army has something like this.
Well,
combat drugs
kind of like at the start of the game anyway. You know what they have, right?
Well, yeah, but it's the same as I was like, right, okay. But the thing is every witch cult gets combat drugs, and surprisingly,
and every unit gets an individual.
Yeah, and they're all different.
Concoction.
They're all different.
Yeah.
This is at least it's like a psychic power. It is a thing that you do. And it may or may not happen. Most likely, it will be.
I think it's going to be definitely happening.
In practice, this is a bit trickier to do than it actually seems because it's in the command phase.
Yes, so this is pre-movement.
You can't get out of a vehicle with your Celestians with Stormbolters.
Yeah, you would have to. You kind of have to plan ahead for something like that and hope they don't die.
Okay, so yeah, you have to do this with the character and then get them within 6 inches of the unit that you want to fire with. Okay.
So at least, if you do it, it means that when it's something like this, that you actually have to think about how you're playing your turn. Especially because it's within half range. So Stormbolters, that means it's a 12-inch range.
How do you think... Wait, no, auras just do not apply when you are in a vehicle, right?
Yeah, you just count as not being on the board.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, my thought being is if someone was using this, then got into a vehicle, and that vehicle moved halfway across the board.
Well, it's when you do it, you choose one unit.
Yeah, you choose a unit to do that, and then obviously at that point you're like they could. Oh no, they can't get in and then get out of vehicles, so it means I feel like it's tricky because it's specifically a bolt weapon.
I don't think they can. No, I don't think there's a stretch.
No. So your heavy bolters, storm bolters, your normal bolt guns, etc.
It's like most of your weapons.
Well, but that aren't
Yes.
flamers and melters. It's like a
Yeah.
third of your weaponry. But at that point, it's like, okay, what can I get within half range? What's the
So,
range of a heavy bolter?
36,
inches.
right?
So 36 inches. So that's 18
So
inches.
18-inch range. That's
For-
not hard.
That's not
No,
hard
they-
for stuff for heavy bolters, and then also you can take an
Yeah.
entire Dominion squad of heavy bolters.
Retributor Squad.
Retributors, sorry. What's the one I said?
Dominion. They can advance at the start of the game.
Are they the ones that have the storm bolters?
They can have storm bolters.
Ah, okay.
I don't think they can. I think they can take like 2.
Or I'll tell you what, another. No, to be fair, it'd be difficult to be able to do this on like your winged. What's the winged units called?
The Seraphim or the Zephyrim.
Whichever
Depending
one
on
have bolt
which-
pistols.
They all have bolt pistols. The Zephyrim have the swords.
Yeah, but why would you care about the bolt pistols? I think
I mean,
No, no, no,
it's
I-
weight of fire.
I
If
was
you-
genuinely going to say, you pop this on Bloody Rose Seraphim, and you jump them forward, you have AP2 bolt pistols.
Yeah, and just fucking go ham.
What's
Because
the
thing is,
range of a bolt
they have a
pistol?
lot of 12.
12 inches, yeah?
You're going to
Yeah,
go
So
with
you got to get within 6. I
Yeah,
feel
but
like
if you
that's
want, to be fair,
asking
they're a
it.
unit you want to be in range to be able to charge things because they are a Seraphim especially. If Seraphim are the ones with the swords, you want them in close
yeah.
combat, and you're playing sisters, so of course you want them in close combat.
Zephyrim, you drop down and charge anyway, because you can reroll your charges and stuff.
Yeah, but I think that there are genuine cases where this apply. I think it's gonna take a good player to be able to position correctly to be able to use this at the right time. This is not
Well, this is the thing,
this
though.
is like a later game pred.
Because of the initial part of the rule, the unmodified hit rolls of 6 automatically wound, it's never going to be useless.
that's
No,
true.
it's still going to be pretty good.
Yeah, there's no reason to not use this every single turn.
And it depends on. It might be a thing of like you can only cast this particular prayer once.
Once a turn.
Once a turn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
So
once
it's
a
not
turn.
like it's like, oh well, I failed. It didn't cast. Oh well, this priest can do it. It's like, no, that's not how that works.
Yeah.
Like
You can-
similar with psychic powers is for balancing sake, but still.
Okay, you keep saying cast as if it's going to be set off like a psychic power. Do we know how these are going to be?
It's
I'm assuming,
usually
yeah, because
a
considering
case of a 4-up, and then you maybe have a way to increase it. Because a Dark Apostle, I think, does it on a 4-up, but it has +1 because of its like companions.
yeah,
So
chaplains get
then-
+1 from being in the Master of Sanctity, and their prayers are that you do have to roll them in the command phase to see if they go off or not. So it is a possibility that it doesn't happen.
It might be a case of missionaries do it on a 5-up, priests do it on a 4-up, and then the Dominator does it on a 3-up.
Okay, so would it be fair to say then that if you have a few of these people casting these, one person rolls for this, fails it,
A
would there
second
be
person
anything
won't be
stopping
able-
you?
No, I would say, considering how everything else works in the game, you can't try and do it a second time, even if it fails. Because that's how psychic powers work. And that's how I believe the existing prayers work. But in
Okay.
reality, it's such an edge case of having 2 chaplains with the same ability
Mm.
in a list. So on that point, I wouldn't know, but I assume it's the same case because psychic powers work the exact same way.
Yep.
So hence why I say it like that is based
Yeah.
assumptions by how the game works, because it is if it is inspiring, that means there is a chance it doesn't happen.
Mhm.
I mean, hey, but still, considering the amount of things you can stick this on bolt weapons, just having a sheer weight of fire coming through,
The automatically
with
wound on
auto
sixes.
wounding, great, fuck it, put that on fucking anything, you're sorted. But it is core and character. It's nice that characters are mentioned. I don't know what character this would be really useful for.
Yeah.
I like sure
Just
you
if
could.
If there's one in range, I guess, and like there's nothing in range this turn, you're like,
Does
oh, we'll give yourself an extra treat.
what's it? Does the new character, what's her face, Mornval? Does she have bolters?
I think she does. Yeah.
I need to open the door for the cat. There you go.
Weird little thing.
Mhm.
If you have a weight of bolt of fire,
Yes.
in a unit, for example, that you're firing this with,
Mhm.
would it be worth pointing this at a super high toughness target then? For example, like a big
Yes.
vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's
what you
not.
can
It doesn't
do
specify
is
what it uses against.
You can reroll every hit that isn't a 6, essentially, if you wanted to. It's like, yeah, I'm hitting on 2s, but I'm going to reroll everything that's not a 6, and then just auto wound.
Yeah, you just fishing for 6s at that point.
I think that totally would be worth.
It means that
Again,
bolters
it's
are a bit more
another one of
useful.
those things where like this is always useful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just good. It's just flat out good.
One that's not always useful, though, is the next one that's...
Yeah, so let's have a look. So it's mentioned
psychic
specifically...
powers.
It's like, Chorus of Spiritual Fortitude.
It's really fucking good.
Adeptus Ministorum core character, an engine of redemption within 6 inches of the priest. So engines of redemptions are the...
It's the penitent engine in the
Penitent engines, yeah. So anything that's not a sister, that doesn't have the sister's keyword, basically is covered by this. If
But
this
it might
unit...
include the warsuits.
The new warsuits are definitely they're sororitas. They're manned by sisters.
Yeah, whether or not they're core or not is...
I don't know if they'll be core. That's a good question. Is whether they'll be core.
Because they might be engines of redemption, but not core.
Could be.
Don't think so though.
Yeah, but it doesn't. Obviously, engine of redemption doesn't. It's not core. You know, so penitent engines get access to this. If that unit or its models are affected by any psychic powers manifested by enemy models, the effects of those psychic powers on that unit and its models end. So just flat out, any debuff, fuck it.
It's so cool.
And then until the start of your next command phase, that unit and the models it contains are not affected by any psychic powers manifested by any enemy units. So even if you get first turn, and you want to, there's a particular annoying psychic power that's going to come through. Say for example, any of the negative ones that affect other units from Death Guard, especially because they already have a lot of psychers. You know, they already have a lot of that psychic kicking off. That aren't necessarily buffs.
If you're up against 1,000 Suns and you just get closer to the enemy than they are to you, they move and they can't smite because they have to smite that character or that target, and they can't because
oh yeah, that's true.
Psychic powers.
That is a kind of a big fuck you at that point.
They can do other stuff, but like not to that.
Yeah,
smite
I think
that unit.
Yeah, the thing is, it is useful. I can see it being useful. I can't see it being useful right now.
I can't see it being useful, right, as opposed to the other one, I can't see it being useful every turn.
A good... I'll tell you what, what's the orc power that you have, John? That you
Which
used
one?
on my guys for the snake... No, the snake bites, the Death Skulls power.
Oh! I don't have the book near
the
me.
Madness one that makes me, like, maniacal... Maniacal seizures.
Maniacal seizures.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just means that all... True. It would deny that. But yeah, with that one, it just means that all your attacks going towards the enemy are have an extra AP onto them. But yeah, I guess it would. But the way that
I mean, it's a power, because the thing is as well, it's covered in both cases of if you go second, this is still usable, because it's something that's already been cast upon. So if you're on the bottom half of the turn, they're like, right, I've cast my powers, I've debuffed stuff. It's like, right, okay. Annoying, because, well, at least it's until the start of your next command phase.
yeah,
it cannot be affected, which means at least
I think it's more useful for the turn going on.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the thing. You're planning ahead, and most likely at that point you've already moved closer where they're going to cast more powers onto you.
The fact you could like slap this on a unit of
penitent engines, which come in a squad.
Yeah, like penitent engines or whether or not Repentia are core, and just run them.
I would
at,
assume
like,
Repentia would be
something.
core. I would think Repentia would be core.
They might not be because they're like elites.
But there's a few elite things that are core.
Oh, I know. I'm just.
So I think that they would be a good option to be core at least. But like, hey, fucking put an entire unit. I mean, to be fair, that means also when this would be happening, your priests have to be within 6 inches of them, and they're also not in a vehicle. Which, you know, you kind of, I would think you want your Repentia inside a rhino.
Yeah, yeah, they're in a rhino with a priest most of the time.
So yeah, it's tricky when this one goes off, but hey, it's a good thing to plan ahead and just say fuck you to like, hey, this one unit that is going to be in your line soon, you can't psychic power it, which means you have to do other things. That means they have to dedicate more shooting, or, you know, if they're going to dedicate shooting to anyway, at least you're making it harder for them, potentially.
I think this is going to ruin, like, this is going to really hit some lists and do absolutely dick all against others.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's not a... It's a thing you pick at the start of the game. So you know what you're going up against at the very least before you pick it. Unless it's competitive play. Because with competitive play, you lock in your spells and things at the like when you submit your list. So if you're going to a GT or a Rogue Trader or whatever, you know what prayers are going off. So even if you don't use it, you know, you've locked that in. The only thing that it's different is any pre-game specific stratagems. So like, oh, you know, deep striking, etc. That's done before the first battle round, but not when you're making your list. So here, you know, it's something that you would probably put in an all-comers list because there could be cases, but it's not. It's probably something I'd put on a lesser priest.
Yeah.
It's not something I care about, you know. And
you put it on the priest that you put in there because you needed something to fill out the points.
Chances are the other 4 are going to be more useful.
True, because I'm assuming there's 6.
Yeah,
probably will be 6. So, and we mentioned here as well, what is going to be priests is Dialogus, the Humble Missionary, and the Dogmata.
Oh shit, the Dialogus, yeah.
Dogmata, I think, is the big one for that.
Yeah, because they're going to make it, like, she's going to make it super good.
She's going to be so scary in close combat.
It's going to be funny.
Especially like a Bloody Rose Dogmata.
I'm assuming there will be a specific, like, oh, by the way, here's a better here's one to be better in combat. Because of course there will be.
There always is.
It's sisters. They have to have one. You know. I mean, there's not much to mention here, because we're waiting on rules, you know. But it is now the point where it's about to be June. That means we're getting all of the sister stuff in the limelight. So hey, that means George is gonna have a great time in telling me why I read a rule and it's that sounds dumb, and you're like, oh, by the way though, here's this actual case where this will work. You're like,
Sisters have got a lot of stratagems that are very good, and very cheap.
It depends on how many of those stratagems were made.
Hopefully they don't lose too many of those because they're very good.
Yeah, it's
they're not
it's an
like
interesting thing.
Super strong. They're just very good.
I had to move you down, George, because your eye level was going into the overlay. You just couldn't see you. There we go.
Yep, good, perfect.
That's sisters. We're done. There's not much else we can mention on that. We'll come back to the 40k in a bit, but let's have a talk about this man, the big cheese, the four-legged cheesemonger.
Stop saying cheese.
I like
Weird.
cheese.
You're making it weirdly about cheese.
It's about cheese now. It's Kragnos.
You can't milk those.
You can't milk those. I guess he's a cow, kind of, maybe.
No, you can't milk those.
He could be a centaur cow, right?
Stop it.
Anyway. Right, Kragnos. We've been given his full data sheet. Because, thank you, GW. Should just give it to us. We've got his full wall scroll. And it's kind of weird. So we're gonna break it down. So this, if you're watching this live on Twitch, just keep watching. Fair enough. If you're watching this, the full thing, go to the timestamp. Or if you're actually here for the Age of Sapo content, here it is. It's all here. Kragnos. People have already talked about him for a week. It's fine. The End of Empires. So, his movement statistic will go down based on the amount of wounds he suffered. He starts with 18 wounds base, bravery 10 with a 2-up save. Starting. You know, he is probably going to be like 650 points. No, 655 points, because based on the Vampires book, they're adding 5 points to things. Because fuck you.
Yeah, well, for some reason.
Yeah.
It's fucking list building.
Pretty much, yeah. So, he's got 3 sets of melee attacks. He's got the Mace, which is a 3-inch range, 6 attacks, doesn't degrade. Hits on 3s, wounds on 2s, flat -3, flat 4 damage. That's really good for what it is, especially wounding on 2s. -3 rend.
It doesn't go anywhere.
When that's just a flat set of damage. It's really nice.
3 up, 2 up, -3, 4. Absolute gunk.
Absolutely, especially a 3-inch range is pretty disgusting.
Oh
just,
yeah.
Just for a word, but to be fair, he is massive.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah. He's got Tuskbreaker, which I believe is a shield.
Yeah.
Which is 1-inch range, 3 damage, 3 up, 2 up, -2d3 damage, which is very similar to Catacrosis' shield. Because when it got to the point of when he was fighting you, his shield also did do damage as a melee weapon, so there is that. So I think that might be an on-becoming trend of
I mean, I
being able
definitely
to
like
shield
it.
bash you.
I definitely like it in the fluff of this, just because he is hitting you with everything he's got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
yeah, and the Hooves of Rack and Ruin, which I love as a name.
Mhm.
Which one is Rack and which one is Ruin? And what are the back
Do
two called?
you think he's got like knuckle tattoos on his moves?
Yes, Rack,
Fuck
Ruin,
yeah.
and whatever the other two are, we have to figure out. Yeah.
Those are his feet.
Yeah, it just says feet, or F-E,
Yeah,
and then E-T on the other side. He's got, attack star, 1-inch range, 3 up, 2 up, -1, 2 damage. Top of the table, so he gets 6 attacks with those that is top bracket, and then that will then go down to 3 overtaking wounds. But also, he has to take 9 wounds minimum for him to be degraded, which is probably a good amount of fire that needs to go onto him, or
That
a
is
good amount of spells.
That's so generous.
That is very generous. I mean, to be fair, he is
This man is a
technically
40k
god.
vehicle.
I'm pretty sure he's a god. Yeah, he's a god.
Yeah, he's a
So,
god of the storm.
like, I feel like it being generous is kind of understandable.
I mean,
Well, I mean, like,
because you did the thing in where you said, "Oh, just throw a load of spells at him." He can just ignore spells.
Exactly.
He
know,
can
what
just
you do
say
is-
no.
you just play Skaven and shoot him with 2 warp lightning cannons.
Or you play Caradron Overlords and shoot with cannons.
Yeah, then
No, but
usually
There's
the best
honestly,
thing for this
there's
is
ways
just
around
guns.
it. But I could
He's
say the
not
same
sure
thing about
itself.
Archeon. I could just throw fucking cannonballs at Archeon and kill him. Like, it's possible. Will it happen?
point-
Fuck no.
The point is, Kragnos has absolutely 0 resistance against mortal wounds.
No, he does. Well, it depends. It depends on the mortal wounds. Things hitting him for mortal wounds.
He
No,
does it against
doesn't.
spells,
Yeah,
but he doesn't against mortal wounds. So you just play Skaven and you instant kill him. Like
or
with
Archeon.
warp lightning.
Archeon will insta kill him as well. You know.
Yeah, Archeon insta kills everything
Which
apart
is-
from Croak.
I mean, yeah, we have apparently Croak's data sheet has appeared online somewhere.
Oh, really?
We're not, yeah, apparently. Someone in a Discord posted it and then immediately got deleted because they were like, "Don't spoil it." Like, no spoilers here. Like, because the person who's Discord is a GW partner.
I
And
see.
Because
Yeah.
if you do that, so if we ever get partnered, we ever talk about leaks again, we're fucked. We will lose
Yeah.
our partnership immediately. So bear that in
But
mind.
we're not partners, so we can talk
Yeah,
about leaks all
exactly.
we
We
fucking
can talk
want.
about what the fuck we want. Right.
Maybe they should just not leak it then if they don't want people talking about it.
Just don't leak it for it. Oh, it's not like
I
the
mean-
AdMech book came like.
Just
Uh-huh.
plug your
weekly.
leaks, stick it.
All the AdMech leaks when they were coming out, all like pretty much anyone who was in Italy got theirs a week early. Like anyone who pre-ordered it had it a week early in Italy for some fucking bizarre reason. I don't know why. So all the Italian players were just posting pictures of their things and asking people to translate it for them.
It's a privilege.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
I find it so fucking bizarre for AdMech, but regardless. Right, Kragnos. He's got all those things. He can be included. If Kragnos is included in an army whose general has the discretion keyword, he's treated as a general in addition. So he doesn't swap in. He doesn't have to be your general, which is good.
That's an interesting thing. that
Nagash
is
does the same thing.
It's popped up a lot
Yeah.
since Broken Realms.
Yeah, because I think
Um,
Nagash Nagash was pretty much the only person that had that
What, before Broken Realms started?
before Broken Realm stuff. Yeah, pretty sure. Like he could be in your army, but he didn't have to be your general.
Oh, no, I mean, like,
Oh,
They
this
are
person
your
is
general.
included in addition to. You mean?
yeah. Like,
Yeah.
like you get more than one general now.
Yeah.
Because all the Emerald Host and Rykador's Condemned does that as well.
I mean, hey, the entire Vycross dynasty for the vampires, like every hero is a general.
Yeah,
Like,
it becomes a general, but it doesn't do anything for them because they're all named characters.
I mean, unless you like for generic
So-
vampire lords and anything else you throw in,
Well,
like
Yeah, but the majority of
of
that
them are
dynasty
named characters. Yeah, but it's
is
meaning
named
meaning
characters.
that the named characters get extra. They don't even get anything extra for it, which I
Yeah,
kind of.
that's what I mean. So I'm assuming in
Third edition has something for that.
The generals are going to do something even if they're named characters.
That would be cool. I mean, to be fair, it's the one thing I was like, why would you ever take a named character that wasn't like fucking bonkers? There was no point.
True.
Like, obviously, if you're taking vampires, like, yeah, I will take Manfred. He's probably going to be a general, because I think there was something on his data sheet, which means if he's a general, he gets this. It's like, cool. You know? But even then, you just gave it... Otherwise, you would just give it to a vampire lord and be like, oh, here's a relic. Here's an actual thing that's going to be helpful. And then I just have Manfred. Like... Named characters need something extra to give you a reason to take them.
No,
Not
they
just
don't.
them being bonkers.
Because Lady Olinda you have to have her as your general to use her command ability. It sucks ass.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, even if, like, that's the thing, is, like, if they did that and gave her, a better thing, cool. Or at least give her the ability to give her that generalship, like, that kind of thing.
Named characters shouldn't have, they shouldn't be forcing you to make them your general via, like, hostage taking.
Yeah.
There
Yeah,
shouldn't
but
be like, you have to, otherwise you don't get this. It should be, you can, and then you get...
So you need to get something extra, at the very least,
Yes.
But otherwise, you just don't get anything for it. It's kind of a waste. But hey, it could be something good, because we got to remember that this War Scroll has been written with 3rd edition in mind,
Yep.
So we'll go
It
for
also has been written in the express purpose of, if you're playing Stormcast, just fuck you.
Yeah, basically. We'll get onto that in a sec. So, abilities. We've got the Bellow of Rage. At the end of any phase, if any wounds were allocated to this model in that phase and not negated, roll the dice for each other unit and each defensible terrain feature within 6 inches of this model. If the roll is equal to or greater than the Bellow of Rage value shown on the model's damage table, takes D3 mortal wounds, or the terrain is destroyed.
I fucking love that, by the
What
way.
is defensible?
Defensible is like most terrain.
Most terrain? Because what does that give you? How do you get defensible? I'm assuming it's if you're inside it.
I think it's stuff that can give you cover.
Okay, right. So that's a fair point. However, most of the normal faction terrain pieces, I don't believe give you cover.
And most of them don't now.
So he can't destroy faction terrain pieces, as far as we're aware. There may be ones, if Alex was here, he would be helpful, of terrain pieces which did do that, which means, hey, he can destroy faction terrain pieces. That's pretty sick, because most of the time they're in the middle of the board. In most cases, because you can just plot them there. So hey, and it also means, like, if anything is a garrisoned terrain piece, it could just destroy it. And it has the same. It has basically the if it's a transport blowing up rule from 40k, because it's a designer's note. If it's a defensible terrain feature that is being garrisoned, when it's demolished, roll a dice for each model in the garrison. On a 1, it is slain, and it must be set up within 6 inches of the terrain feature and more than 3 inches away from all enemies. Hey, cool.
Makes sense.
Like, you could just make it blow up. I mean, I feel like that's very specific. A top bracket, there's a 5 up. Like, roll under a 5. You've done D3 mortal wounds. However, that is also any unit nearby, including your own boys. So...
Yeah, I think this is... Again, I think it's kind of good for fluff that... Firstly, he can shout down frickin' buildings. But secondly, the fact that he can... because he's such a force of nature, because he is this huge one-man stampede, anything near him gets damaged.
He's going to cost so much, you're not going to have anything in range of that on your own team.
Oh, pretty much, yeah. Like, people are estimating, like, he's probably worth about 500, but he's going to be about 650 plus. I'm thinking around 650. Looking at this,
I was thinking 500 to 550.
I think it'll be more expensive than that.
Because he's good. He does damage, but he doesn't do anything else.
But I mean, it's destruction.
Yeah.
That's just what. That's destruction, though. It's just you just kind of smash stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, speaking of destruction, we've got the Destroyer of the Draconith Empire. He hunted down dragonkind across all the ancient realms and carries an abiding hatred for their kin to this day. You can reroll charge rolls and hit rolls for this model while it's within 12 inches of any enemy Star Drakes, Dracoths, and Dracolines.
Playing Stormcast.
Is that just Stormcast stuff?
That's just Stormcast. That's Stormcast Star Drakes.
I don't know what has Drake. Dracoths,
maybe
yes.
Maybe
Dracoths
the Drakes is different.
I think Drakes are from elsewhere. Somewhere. But even then, that's really specific.
Let me check.
It also makes me think that the new Stormcast stuff is going to have a big boy on cavalry thing, which would be like a new Drake unit. That'd be cool. But I feel like again, this like if you're going against anyone else, you just don't get that ability. You know. It's kind
Yeah.
of like a big meh. It's a
so
cool thing.
so strong.
Yeah.
For something that's just like against one person.
Yeah, it's against one faction and against your one friend that you really don't like that much. And like, hey, you don't have to necessarily be in combat with them. If they just need to be nearby for him to get that benefit, cool. But again, it's so super specific. It seems weird to me. Unless there are suddenly more Drakes around that we knew about, but like, doesn't do anything to Magma Droths. Doesn't do anything to any of the Daughters of Cain stuff. Like, pretty much, I can't think of anything that has those keywords that isn't Stormcast. Not
Trying to find
Chaos.
what has the Drake keyword. So,
I'm assuming nothing. You know, I mean, hey, Archeon's fucking. I was going to say, yeah, Iron Drakes. No, they don't. Does Archeon's? I'm assuming his thing doesn't. He doesn't have like a Drake or something like that keyword, does he?
I'm pretty sure it's
Because it's like a specific beast.
a horse.
Yeah, I mean, it's a horse.
Oh look, it's
Yeah.
I think it's a demon.
Yeah, it's probably a demon. Yeah.
Yeah, a demon.
So yeah, I mean, sure, cool. Yeah. Yeah, Rampaging Destruction. After this this one's fucking long, so bear with me. After this model makes a charge move, you can either roll a dice for each enemy unit that is within 1 inch of this model, or you can pick an enemy monster within 1 inch and roll 2d6. If you roll a dice for each enemy unit within 1 inch, not model, unit, on a 2-up, it takes d6 mortal wounds. Cool, just a d6 mortal wound thing. Already, the I mean, hey, you can spike that through. That's okay.
Pretty solid.
You know, if I wanted that though, I'd play. If I wanted that, I'd play ogres.
I mean, yeah, you play ogres with this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if I really wanted to just do that, but the thing is, if I'm playing this with ogres, I'm basically gonna have nothing on the board because all the ogres are really expensive. At least for the mammoths, like for the beast claw. But yeah, we'll carry on. If you pick an enemy monster within 1 inch of this model and roll 2d6 on a 7 or less, nothing happens. On a 7, nothing happens.
Yeah, if you roll just a 7.
Oh yeah, because it's 6 and 1. Because it would just be 6.
Well, no, I was gonna say in that 7 is the most likely roll that you can get on 2 dice.
Yeah.
So they're trying to just minimize it as much as possible with only one thing, which I think, honestly, mathematically, I think that's a good way to go about it.
It's
that's a
you got like a 21% chance of not doing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then on any other roll, that monster
pretty-
suffers. Yeah. Sorry, Karen.
A pretty high chance of just suffering complete and utter existential failure.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get like a 2 and a 1. You're like, well, there's 2 mortal wounds to you, fuckface.
Well, I mean, like even if you roll a 6, right?
Yeah.
You roll 2 3s. That thing takes 9 mortal wounds.
Yeah. But yeah, so it is so when that monster suffers a number of mortal wounds equal to the score of the dice used for the 2d6 multiplied. First time
I want to
anything...
see someone roll 36 mortal wounds.
Yeah, you get somehow the 12-inch charge, you pick that monster, it's fucking dead.
Just
I mean, hey, that bottom part is your Archeon thing, because I'm pretty sure he counts as a monster.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, you do that, and maybe you get to kill him before he gets to kill you, because he will kill you on his combat. You know.
Yeah.
But like, hey, it's fucking 36
Gamble,
mortal wounds
baby.
potential. Yeah, just like, oh, just fucking roll dice and hope for the best. Like, hey, it's really cool. I love the idea of it, but it's like, okay,
I like it. I'm a big fan.
It's cool, but it's like, okay. I mean, to be fair, you're doing this every time you charge, so it's not like it's a bad thing. And you can only pick one. You can only pick a monster or pick a unit. So if you multi-charge, you only get to pick one for each enemy unit, or you pick a monster.
So the funny thing is if you do 36 mortal wounds to Archaon, on average, it doesn't kill him.
Really?
Really?
Why?
Because he's got a 4 feel no pain.
Okay.
He has 20 wounds. So you do
Oh,
18.
damn.
Ooh,
But-
that's...
But you would take 6 mortal wounds on average.
Oh, okay.
That's really funny.
I kind of
Yeah.
like that.
And then Archaon kills you, probably.
Oh yeah, in his combat with Slayer of Kings.
If you don't attack him first.
Oh, because I mean, to be fair, you kind of have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, but hey, it's cool. I mean, he's just running at you. Untitled
No,
Destruction, +1 bravery for destruction units wholly within 12. Standard. You know, bravery bonus, great. And plus, there's a surprising amount of stuff in, obviously, in Destruction that has low bravery, so this does help in quite a few cases.
I have to duck out of frame for a second. I was just painting a little bit of my Jakari and dropped a tiny piece in my bin.
In the bin. Oh no.
No.
Off he
Directly
goes.
into the bin beneath my desk. 1 second.
There he goes. And then last one, we got the shield in Violate. Tuskbreaker, which is Tuskbreaker. Is impervious to even the most potent magical hexes and bolts. Each time a model is affected by a spell or endless spell, you roll 3d6. If the roll is greater than the casting value of that spell or endless spell, ignore the effects of that spell or endless spell ability on this model. Which means at the very least, at most, you need like an 8. For even some of the bigger spells. And hey, anytime they just try and do damage thing, 3d6. You know, on average, you're beating it. But yeah, as you mentioned before, like, great, he can do stuff against spells, cool. But yeah, it's the casting value, which means at least it's set, you can kind of expect some things.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I can't think of many spells that he's gonna have a hard time. Well, I can't think of any spells that he's gonna have a hard time with. I don't play.
Yeah.
Any
Sigma,
Sigma.
yeah. But even then, it's
Even,
like, okay, carry on.
Even techless, he can just be like, I don't care. I'm just
Yeah,
I'm
just
still running at you.
Yeah.
mm,
But the
And
thing
that guy
is,
can like casts on 12s.
yeah, and he could just be like, no. Because, I mean, hey, you could get more than 12, you know, it's not hard.
yeah, I was gonna say, on average, this is rolling a 10.
Yeah. So, you know, if
So
you're
that's
going off at averages,
most
great.
spells.
Like, you're fine. But as, you know, and also you can include him in the Destruction Army if he never has the keyword, he doesn't get the abilities, he also, and you can't take any other mercenaries in your thing, you could just have him. You know, cool.
Yep, makes sense.
Yeah, I see what, like, the thing is like, yeah, he has no other mortal wound negation, he doesn't ever feel no pain of any sort, which for something like this, I would think he would. You know? I would hope
Well,
he
this
would.
thing-
He
I
does
think-
have a 2-up save, though.
I think the
True.
fact that these all attack and, like, hardly, well, I guess no mortal wound defense.
If, hypothetically, a group of Hearthguard Berserkers get into combat with him, with the mortal wound thing, they will probably kill him.
Yeah.
Because they just throw mortal wounds at you. And there's a surprising amount of units which just do that. And then also, you can just shoot him out down at range. Like, hey, he's cool, but I feel like he seems a bit lackluster for him being a god.
Like I said, he kills everything he touches, and then some.
And then dies. Or he dies before he gets to you. One of the two.
And you can't cast spells on him, so there's only one way you can really.
Wait, how fast is he again?
He's got a 10-inch
10
move
move?
base.
Pretty quick.
He's pretty fast. Like, and then even though, like, hypothetically he has 2 wounds, it's still a 7-inch move, which isn't bad. And he's got a big base. You know.
Yeah, so what I'm really saying is, how fast can he go from first turn, beginning of deployment to charging?
I'd say a turn.
Yeah, a turn.
Probably a turn.
You've got a turn to shoot him before he reaches you.
Pretty much. And at that point, the way that you deal with him is that you have to basically countercharge him and then bog him down and then hopefully kill him with mortal wounds or something like that. You can't use spells against him, which is, you know, that's pretty good because a lot of the game is spell based, fair. But then the other half of the game is mortal wound based, which he can't defend against.
I tell you who's going to be really, really good at dealing with Kragnos.
Who?
Seraphon.
Oh, why is that?
Seraphon, you just sprinkle a unit of 10 skinks in front of him.
Oh shit! Yeah, because don't they do like poison wounds or something?
No, you just it's just 10 skinks. He charges the skinks, he kills the skinks. That's his turn done.
Oh, and skinks are worth nothing.
Yeah, and you could just, especially if they're chameleon skinks, you can just put them anywhere.
Well, no, you just summon skinks in because they're super, super cheap. Like,
Oh,
summoning
right, I
points.
see. I thought they had like a deep strike thing.
No, you just summon them straight in right in front of him. You go. I've got skinks, and if he doesn't kill them straight away, they move 4 inches away from him, and they survive, 'cause they can
How
see
could
it
this?
like-
How could he not? It might be a thing of he doesn't pick them to fight. He doesn't pick
because
Kragnos
they're
to
skinks,
fight,
right?
and then, oh, they're skinks, so don't worry, I'll fight with something else. And then you just go, eh. And you just make it more
move
annoying
4
for
inches
him.
away. Yeah.
Okay,
Like-
that seems to be, like, basically the way to do it. Or blue, like, horrors as well. Chaff units, and just stick them in the way.
It's chaff units that he's not going to just completely obliterate all of his attacks and all of his damage.
But to be fair, he is,
Stick.
like, that unit of skinks is taking d6 mortal wounds when they get charged.
Oh yeah, like they are
It's still
getting
4 skinks
absolutely
there.
wrecked. I think
But,
those skinks
I mean,
are.
yeah, like, if you build them a big enough squad, it doesn't fucking matter. Do you know what would be
As-
really good to just have in the way of him, in terms of thinking vampire counts? Direwolves. They're fast, they have 2 wounds each, and you just stick them in front of him.
I still think they're dead on arrival.
Just chuck zombies.
Oh
in
yeah,
there.
cool. Yeah, zombies at them, skeleton, like any of your chaff stuff, like the entire point of vampire counts, just stick them in the way.
Yeah.
Because-
Death is going to be both great and a real pain in the ass to fight him because he's going to get bogged down decently, not much, but enough by your big like tar pit units, right?
Yeah.
And then you have to charge him with the monster because if he charges the monster, it disappears. He doesn't even like attack it; it just evaporates.
Yeah, you need to charge him first.
Yeah, I also I do kind of love the rules in that the fact that like he'll charge you and you'll take this huge hit and there's a chance that they'll go, yes, I survived, and then the person on the other side of the table go, I haven't hit you yet.
Oh,
That was just him arriving.
that's
Yeah.
true. That is true. I mean, so zombies would probably be better. Tom makes a good
I
point.
think zombies will be the best way, yeah.
Especially because of how many you can take. Not even fully buff zombies will still be doing eternal mortal wounds because they just auto mortal wound on 6s. Great. And then at that point, it's like, I mean, you do as much as you can, and then at that point you just countercharge him with stuff and just murder him. You know.
That is a way to do it. If you manage to get a unit like to survive against him, so that he's in combat with them, just keep ramming stuff into him.
Or even then, even if you get the
Although I
double
just
turn-
realized every time he takes damage, though, everything around is getting hit.
You just have to no. It's at the end of the phase, right? You just have to kill him in one phase. So,
Just
Yeah.
kill him. Just kill him. But the thing
Just
is, if you
kill
do
him,
the- if
Fouad.
you shoot him in the shooting phase, and he's
Yes.
with his boys, that means
Like
his
I'm
boys are
saying.
taking damage.
You just play Skaven, you play Scryer, you hit him with 2 Warp Lightning Cannons, and then he explodes and kills everybody around him.
Yeah, like 3 times as well.
Yeah.
Like, and then Caradrons would be a good thing. Anything that's good at tar pitting, like I would think that Fire Slayers might struggle. Just because at least my point of reference, because you have your Volkites standing in the way, and then hope they don't die, and then you stick with, because they probably will, with 2.
Fire Slayers have a thing that it doesn't matter if you die with Fire
Yeah,
Slayers.
'cause they still get to
do your
fight.
stuff.
With the Volkites. So that's the thing. They're a perfect unit to fight against him because it's like, hey, yeah, you've killed everything. They still get to fight you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually,
fuck
units
it.
that do that will be pretty good.
And then,
I mean, in the chat, Lumineth has been suggested.
Lumineth, yeah, because of the amount of shooting that they have. With the bows with sun metal, because that's not a spell against him. That's a buff spell for them. So there's that. Ideneth with the eels. I don't know what the rules are for the eels, but I know that they're pretty popular in terms of because they just charge shit. Blood Knights would be good if you can get them to charge him first, because obviously they're more damage on the charge. Which means you're more likely to kill him. But even then, it's still, like... There's ways around it.
Lumineth is still going to be relying on mortal wounds, because he's got 2 up save. He's gonna be...
He's got a 2-up save.
taking a long time to
He's
kill
got a
him.
2-up save.
Yeah, it's a thing in Sigma with a 2-up save. Fuck it. Like, there's ways around him. I think, to be fair, with a data sheet like this, he's going to be way overcosted for what he is. So, for what he does. Because, like, oh yeah, he's really cool. He's going to be way too fucking expensive for what he does.
I don't
This
think
is
so.
where the cost
he
comes
does-
out and he's 400 points.
Fucking imagine that. That'd be fucking crazy. I mean, Nagash at this point is, what, like, 900... Hang on, where's the fucking book? Nagash...
He's either 875 or 975
He's
or something
fucking
like that.
expensive. That's what he is. Nagash. Where is he? Nagash, Supreme Lord of the Undead, 975.
It's your army.
Yeah, but he is also the god of death and can fuck and just throw shit tons of spells at you.
Yeah,
How much is Teclis?
like 600 something.
I think he might be just slightly more expensive than Teklas because like he will just run at you.
Teknos is a really weird character. I like how he works. He doesn't cast his spells. He doesn't roll at all. He just like chooses what level he casts and how many he casts.
That's pretty cool.
I can't find a single unit that has the Drake's keyword.
Oh, okay. We've looked at the very least.
Leap.
So
Hey, that means we now know that something is going to be coming out with
Drake keyword. Yeah,
There's gonna be Drakes. There's gonna be Drakes in the starter set. Confirmed.
Confirmed, 100% in this video.
Lock it in.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to GW, and if it's not in the box, we're gonna fucking force them.
I thought you just
Better
think
put
we're
a Drake
gonna
in there.
fight them. Like, just fucking turn up to a Games Workshop somewhere. They say, "Hey, here's your starter X." Just rip it open in front of them. Look for the Drakes. If you don't see it, just punch the first employee you see.
Just start swinging.
I'm gonna start swinging
Fucking
if there's
just
no Drakes.
throw hands with the closest member.
Age of Sigmar 3rd edition cancelled. No Drakes. Fuck.
Yep.
That's what's gonna happen.
I don't even know what would count as a Drake because all the stuff we've got is either like half Drake or
The Forge World
not
stuff.
quite a Drake.
The Forge
Are
World
they
dragons.
dragons?
I
The
think.
Carmine Dragon is a dragon.
Oh, so it's not. Okay, so what the fuck? Like, maybe we get something that's a Drake. I don't know, but still, fuck it.
If you search Drake on Wikipedia, you get like so many relics that are like bits of Drake
Yeah, this is a bit of a Drake.
or Star Drakes, and then you've got the Drake Swan Knights.
What is the cabbage dragon thing from the Uruks?
That's a wyvern.
Is it? Oh, it's a wyvern. Okay.
I
Oh,
think
fuck
it
you
is.
then again, especially. It's like, no, wyverns, fuck them. Don't care about them.
Right.
I only want drakes that don't exist. Oh. I mean, to be fair, I don't know what else is there to mention about Kragnos. I mean, just he exists, cool. I think 3rd edition is going to be a really big tell with how he works. Because there's no point in assuming about how he works now, because no one is playing enough 2nd edition, or will be playing enough by the time that he releases to be like, it depends. In reality, it does depend on how far away 3rd edition is, but that's going to be the tell, is when 3rd edition comes out and we actually know what they can do. After that, you know, fuck it.
I think when this guy's like fully out and everything, there's going to be a handful of people that are diehard fans that play him in their army no matter what,
Yeah.
whether he's good or not, because he's so fucking cool.
Oh yeah, he'd be, yeah, definitely.
They're
But-
not going to win.
Oh no, but they're gonna have a great time.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
But that one time when they pull off the full charge, get the freaking 20 mortal wounds, and oh, it feels so great, it's gonna be worth it. They do not give a shit if you're having fun or not
Especially 'cause
anymore.
Most likely, because Kragnos is gonna be like £100.
God, yeah.
He's probably gonna
He's
be
probably
like,
fucking beefy on the price.
How much is Techless? Like 95?
95, yeah, around about. So if you are buying Kragnos, buy it from your local friendly game store. Don't buy
Yeah,
it from GW.
absolutely. Yeah, they're the ones who need the,
They need the
Techless,
cash.
280 Australian dollars. Thank you.
So
GW.
thanks, Australia.
Yeah, why does it always do that?
It's because they're covered by the Shadow Man.
Techless is £105.
Fuck, really? Oh, Kragnos is gonna be more than that.
Sorry, Archmage Techless and Selenar the Spirit of Hish, my mistake.
Sorry, you have to refer to him as his full title.
Mhm.
Well, it's two separate models.
Technically, yeah. But it's one model.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's fine. Right. There's not much we can add in. Let's talk about 40k stuff. Round off the rest of the stuff that we got to talk about today. Chapter approved was just randomly said, by the way, chapter approved's coming out. And we're like, oh, okay. So we're getting new points for everything. It's going out for pre-order this coming weekend, so that is the 29th. Chapter approved's coming out, so it's new points and the new mission pack for the Grand Tournament stuff, which means I definitely have to get it so we can plan for the tournament for October. Which means new missions, new secondaries, which is what we're going to be mentioning here. They showed leaks and it was £100 for Kragnos. Okay, so he's slightly cheaper than Teknos. Fair point. But yeah, this is happening. They've got some interviews with pretty much, I think, just competitive players, including Nick Nanavati from Art of War. You know, great. And they're also, I want to point out, Nick Nanavati Nanavati, I think that's how you say his last name, and the Art of War team and a lot of the channels at this point are playtesters, hence why they're being mentioned a lot.
Yes.
So they're doing a lot of the competitive side for the match play. And we've got to point out at least a couple of things. It's going to be hard to read from the article, so I will cover over the base points. Investigate sites is changing. So investigate sites can only be done at the end of your movement phase if the center of the battlefield was devoid of enemy units. And as soon as one model was in, you couldn't score it. Fuck it. Now, you can perform the action even if there are enemy units within 6, and score it if you can clear the center by the time the action completes. So the start of your... I think it's either the end of your turn...
It's the end of your turn.
Yeah, it's usually by the end of the turn for an action. So,
I
US
like
will be
that.
$165. Yeah, that's good. That is a good change, because that means it's okay, it forces you to
it's the same
focus fire
thing,
on the
right,
center,
but
and you're
it's,
more likely to score it.
Well, it's a case of before it was just if they got a single model within 6
You're
inches,
just
you
fucked.
immediately couldn't score it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But it's it means that also it's also a counter kind of thing, because if they've got things in the center and you know they're going to hold the mid board, it's a good objective to take, because right, I get to the center where I'm going to fight you. I've got a unit doing an action, everything else shoots. That means I'm now holding the mid board and I'm scoring points for it.
Yeah.
If
Part of your win condition is already holding the middle of the board, this is going to be a nice way to pick up secondary points.
I mean, especially from when we had the chat with Tom Layton, and he says hey, hold the mid board. It's not a great win condition, but it's a win condition. This may help, because some armies kind of just want to sit there and tar pit you, or at least by the time you get to the mid board, you're already basically locked in combat with everything. So hey, it's an objective you can at least do. It gives you a focus for that center point.
It is an action, though, right?
It is an action, which means at least you've got to have units to an action unit, a minimum size squad doing that. But at least you've got other things, and you've also got units that can be I can now shoot while doing an action, because that's becoming more of a thing.
Like the Super Grots!
The Super Grots! Perfect unit!
Like a man, and then you shoot with them.
Yeah, what a fucking Chad. Yeah, I think
This is actually a brilliant objective for Super Grots. Legitimately.
Yeah.
Especially if there's a bit of cover in the middle of the board. Weasel them in there.
Just get him in there. Open fire. I mean, to be fair, because then at least you're getting shots in from elsewhere. Most likely the things when you're posting that, oh, I'm going to start an action, you're going to have support for that unit one way or another. Or things are going to be in front of you, So I think it's a better choice. It's a better change. It makes more sense. And I think a lot of the changes they've got here for the secondaries just are better. Flat out better. So, we've also got thin their ranks is gone. It's gone now. No more thin their ranks. It's now no prisoners. And the way that it works is it counts the wounds characteristic of destroyed models as long as they aren't a vehicle, not the model itself.
Also, I love the idea of taking this with Drakari, whose whole thing is about taking prisoners.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, carry on.
They're
I don't interrupt.
They're gonna have that specific one that's just gonna say actually prisoners.
It's actually prisoners.
That's what they're in the codex.
No prisoners, actually slaves.
I think one of the things I've got the codex here. I think one of the optional objectives is
getting prisoners.
Don't get taken alive or something like that. But yeah the whole thing is
I think prisoners. This is a better change, because that means it's not only used against Horde armies now. You can use this against Death Guard with 2 wounds, 3 wounds of Death Shrouds, Marines as well. This works really well against, because you're going to be shooting those Blade Guard off the board, because you really fucking have to. So, oh look, they give me kill points now.
The Drakari thing is literally called Take Them Alive.
Take them alive, but no prisoners. But I think, to be fair, Thin Their Ranks was already highly popular. No prisoners is going to be even more so, because there are now more cases for you to be able to use it. And the amount of things that have got more than 2 wounds or more now, fuck it, always take it. I'd always take it. Because if I'm gonna have to kill shit, especially with AdMech, I'm gonna take it. Because I will kill everything. So, great. I don't know if there's gonna be a thing for specifically, this means that it's dead against Horde. It would depend on the wording of it. But hey, it's better.
Well, it works exactly the same as it used to against hordes, right?
Yeah, because it's wound characteristic, so it's like. Yeah,
Just
wound
means that
characteristics
it's
destroy
better
hordes.
against
It just works better
elite
against.
armies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's
It doesn't
more elite
screw
armies
you
than
over.
horde at this point.
It doesn't completely screw you over as much for taking like Necron warriors instead of I don't know,
Immortals.
destroyers or
Yeah,
something.
that's fair.
Well, Immortals have 1 wound.
Oh, okay, fair. Deploy Scramblers is being changed. They've given it a fun name now. Retrieve Octarius Data. Which, getting extra points for completing objectives in multiple table quarters is more reliable than previous all or nothing proposition. Also requires a greater degree of control. So, deploy Scramblers looks like it's going to be kind of, you need to spread onto multiple objectives, or at least to be in different table quarters to do it. Cool. Kind of combos with, like, it's an action that you can do if you're going to just sitting there. You're taking, engage on all fronts. You go sit in the other corner. That means, you know, the unit that's doing engage on all fronts is also doing an action, getting you more points. That means, you know, you actually kind of want to outflank and move around the board and things like that, which I think works.
Anything I think in 40k that promotes you moving around the board
Is good.
is definitely the way the game should be going. So
Yes.
yeah, go for it. Great.
And then fast, like, specifically he mentions skirmishings like Swooping Hawks and Taraxi go up in value with the larger emphasis on completing actions. That, yeah, like 5-man infiltrators or like minimum size squads that can just fuck off around the board. Because they're not really worth, like, they no longer provide kill points for no prisoners, and then that means that they can just fuck off and go and do just Octarius Data, which is gonna fucking suck to say frequently. And then now, what's the last thing is that this allow they mentioned specifically, like I said, the difficulty to score or all or nothing nature and replacing them with new objectives that have a more achievable and granular. So that's probably going to be rewording to a lot of the secondary objectives, which allow you to just be like, you know, like, even like, oh, I do an action, but if I don't do an action, I'm not that fucked, or there's at least a easier way to not get countered.
Well, it's a case of deploy scramblers used to be you had to do it in your deployment, 6 inches away from either deployment and in the enemy deployment to gain 10 victory points.
Yeah, I think now it's going to be...
If you did 2 out of 3 of them, you got 0 victory points.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think now it's going to be, there's 4 of them to do, but you need to do 2 or 3 or 4.
Yeah, and then you'll get more points for each one you do, which is much better. It's a ticking scoring. A lot of ITC stuff back in the day was a ticking scoring thing like that. Because at least, like, yeah, you have to keep track of it, but hey, it means you're not getting 0 on a secondary. Having, like, I think that's probably the aim with this one, is to, like, you're getting less 0 secondaries, you're just getting, you will have secondary choices which will give you, at the very least, like, you'll give you at most, like, minimum 5 points. You know, but that's still 5 points. That still matters. You know.
Oh, yeah.
One thing they do also mention here is that Bring It Down also is changing. So that monsters, Astromino Tyrant tanks, and Orc vehicles are now more viable. So they're probably making it so that Bring It Down is... I'm not too sure what they probably do. It's probably worth less.
It might be something to do with toughness.
I think it might be something to do with the number of wounds that the vehicle has.
That could make sense.
Like, for example, it might just be a thing of...
Like,
if you kill a vehicle with this many wounds.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Like, I don't think, like, what's the max toughness of it, or max wounds of an Orc vehicle? I'm pretty sure it's the Battle Wagon. And it's what?
Yeah, I think it's like...
14? 14,
I want to say 16, but it might be 14.
16 sounds about right to me.
Yeah. And I think this is also links into another thing that we're talking about. Land Raiders. You know, they're going to be more viable for, like, as a choice. Because, you know, Bring It Down, they're big, they've got high toughness, lots of wounds, you know. But making sure that they're not, like, immediately going to fucking die. Or, you know, I've got smaller tanks flying about, and they're not going to immediately just get blown up and just be worthless. Oh, that's 3 points for me, fuck you. It's like, okay, cool. I hope this does push a shift into meta, in terms of, like, secondaries are obviously the key to how the meta works, especially now.
You'd hope so.
Hey, 16 wounds, nailed it.
Yeah, well done. It's good, you know your army, well done, proud of you. I don't.
I feel like that should be a minimum.
It should be a minimum. but no. But it
But
means
no.
the
Sorry,
good
carry
thing is that this is encouraging. Hopefully, with this, is that the meta will change at least. Not necessarily just the meta, just everything in general. Just normal games means that people are bringing more vehicles and not feeling more shitty about it. You know, like hey, especially Imperial Guard players, you can get off the ledge now. You can probably take more tanks and get away with it. It's great.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Tyrannid players, at least with their monsters actually being, not shit, maybe.
They're going to be less costly points-wise, victory points-wise, but they're still not any better than they were.
That's true.
Yeah, it's still not gonna be
until
good.
that codex comes out. But hey, we've got those kind of indications of
Rest in peace, Tyrannid
like
players.
things are getting more competitive. It means at least that I'm hoping by our predictions that secondary objectives will be more. You're less likely to get 0. You're at least going to get a minimum amount of points for doing one thing, and it's like an all or nothing. And it looks like that they're getting rid of that. It's like it's either you score it or you don't. It's like no, you progressively score it over the turn, which means you actually have to think about what you're doing. It's very similar to how you would score Maelstrom of War from 8th edition. Because you were scoring those objectives every game, you got a new hand of cards. They were It was progressive because, you had the cards in your hand, you all had to adapt to be able to do that kind of thing. It's like, right, I've done point 1, my new card has taken me over here. Same kind of thing. Secondary is like, right, I've done the first secondary. Second part of it, I need to go over there. You're adapting.
The issue with Maelstrom was definitely that you weren't scoring points or playing the game the way that you had decided or planned to play it. You were just... It almost felt like you were following orders.
That got better with when you made your deck.
Yeah,
when it got to the point where you were making your deck, you were stacking that deck to be able to, all of the cards that I'm taking are the ones that I will always want to have because I'm always doing it.
Yes.
That's that kind of thing. So I think like that got better, and obviously that's been scrapped. Maybe Maelstrom comes back because it was weird. And the way that they had it was cool. It was way too much to fucking keep track of, though. I hope it comes back in a better way. But, obviously which I've improved. Do you know what comes with that? Points. We get points. We got new point stuff. But it also did specify. Oh no, it was the sisters. What was it? Hang on, let me go back. Make sure I didn't miss out the thing. Oh no, it was the thing with the sisters motto. You get the coin, but it did mention specifically celebrate the arrival. This June sees the Adeptus Sororitas waging their holy war in fresh ways. Thanks to the new codex and new units.
Yep.
So it looks like it's not far off.
Not bad, not bad.
In terms of points, we got new points. These are the 5 biggest point drops, and they are quite significant. Land Raiders are 265, including their standard weapons.
That's 20 points.
Great.
But the thing is, it's also that's including weapons. That means I think Land Raiders may reappear a little bit.
It's already including weapons. 20 points.
So that's a 20-point difference.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not as much as I thought it was.
Everything in the 9th edition codex includes the. Actually, I think everything includes weapons now anyway, apart from extra weapons, right?
It's usually extra weapons, but hey, it's depending on the loadout, that means you're getting the las cannons built in.
Yeah, it's twin heavy bolt and 2 twin las cannons built in.
That built in for 265 is pretty good.
Pretty solid.
Yeah, that's a solid amount, but hey, it's a big deal. Land Raiders, they've gone down. Storm Speeders, and I believed when the Storm Speeders were already a bit overcosted for what they were. They had 3 cool versions, but you just didn't see them anywhere. People took 1 at most, but now they've gone down to, because it's the Hailstrike, Hammer, and the Thunder in that order, which was the better the weapon got. So the Hammer Strike had the triple melter, and then the Thunder Strike had the big las cannon and the big missiles. Right, the Hailstrike was the one that had the not the autocannon, the Gatling cannons, right?
Yeah.
So they've gone.
They've dropped 15.
Yeah, so it's 135 to 160 points each. So
Yeah.
Which, to be
So
fair,
we're,
makes them a bit more of a
150.
viable option, I feel. Like, I really like them, so having, you know, like, being able to take them and... Because you can't take them... I don't think... Oh, no, you can't take them in the squad. No, they're not squads, but hey, they're still good units for what they are. They were just a bit overcosted, I felt.
Yeah, they're pretty quick.
And you'd be surprised how much a 15-point drop across the board is surprisingly
They're
helpful.
really quick. I didn't realize they had a 16-inch move.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're fast as
fucking
fuck, boy.
fast. And they have big guns too. And they're tough.
Yeah.
Because they have stratagems to support them as well, but just no one took them. Because like, oh, I have ATVs. It's like, ATVs are good, but you know, you lost out on stratagems.
16-inch move for 3 melter shots. That's pretty
It's pretty spicy. And the missiles, because the missiles are on top of that. And the missiles are like big damage too.
Mm.
But you know, it's good because it is a unit that's just basically been vacant. And it is also, I want to point out, it is the photoshopped image. They
Yes.
photoshopped it back in, so we've got that back again.
I love that shitty Photoshop.
There it is. Yeah. But hey, it means hopefully we see them more. Hopefully we see more of them. That would be nice. Immortals.
I don't know if they've changed or not, because they say they've changed, but then they list the exact same points that they currently are.
So they're coming in at a mere 4 points more per model than Necron Warriors.
I think what they've done is get rid of the cost of the Tesla carbine.
How much was the Tesla carbine in addition to?
2 points.
Because in terms of the AdMech stuff, in terms of weapon upgrades, actually no, was it AdMech? There were recently the points, or like in terms of like what you got, you're not really paying much extra for weapon options. And most of the time they were the same cost. You were just swapping out the option.
Yeah, that's what it is for most of the weapons on Crons as well, but
yeah, so maybe that's the same case here. But even then, like, hey, maybe Necron Warriors went down too, which means also they just still went down.
I think it's a case of just the Tesla carbines are cheaper now.
Yeah. I mean,
how much? Well, how much are you paying less per model?
So it is 13 for Warriors, 17 for Immortals, and then 19 for Immortals with the Tesla carbine.
Do you think it's now just going to be 17?
across the board?
Okay,
Yeah,
but
well,
even
yeah.
at 10, you're saving yourself 20 points more than what they were earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Which, again, you have a few squads of those. Adds up.
It does add up. That's true. And I mean, hey, Tesla is always a popular option. So
Still pretty good.
yeah, it's pretty good.
I don't think you take Ghost Immortals anyway.
No, that's true. But hey,
You just take
the
Ghost,
common option,
Reapers.
the common option you're taking is now cheaper. Great. Now, big one, because I was hoping Alex would at least be here for this one. Wraithguard and Wraith Blades have gone down in price. I always felt that they were already they were quite pricey for a unit of them, considering how many you had to take. But now, Wraithguard, so those are the ones with the flamer weapon, have gone down to...
Well, they're the ones with the guns in general.
Yeah. So they're the ones with the guns. They've gone down to 35 points a model. I believe they were over 40, just over 40. They've had a big
38.
drop. Well, they were 38. So that's, that's decent. And probably the weapon is included in that. And then Wraith Blades went down to 37. So, you're getting more of them on the board for Eldar players. Great. I don't know who's playing Eldar at the moment, but good for you. Big thumbs up. And then Gene Stealers and Pure Strain Gene. We don't talk about Pure Strain. I've been told not to talk about them by a Gene Stealer cult player. But Gene Stealers...
That's because you don't talk about Gene Stealer cult in general.
Well, just even as a Tyranid player as well. But hey, Tyranid, Gene Stealers, 13 points a model.
What were they before?
I'm pretty sure they were way more than that. Someone quickly check. But apparently they've gone. At least it was a big thing because of the fact they've actually gone down a lot.
What Gene Stealer is it?
Just a normal set of Gene Stealers.
A Gene Stealer is
Not a Pure Strain.
15 points each.
So they've gone down to 13 points and then 15 for the Pure Strain.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's gone down by 2 per model, and you're taking, what, squad of 20 of these?
At max size, yeah. It's 20.
Yeah, they've gone down 2 each.
I mean, hey,
But hey.
still, that's the thing. It does add up because it is very incremental. It's very incremental point changes. And sometimes like it adds up and it does a lot. So hey,
When changes like that to units that you're taking a lot of in an army, these sort of core troop units, I think make a huge difference.
especially for things like Gene Stealers, Immortals, the Land Raiders. I don't know if that's going to be enough. I thought it was like, oh, that seems like a lot, but they're already quite pricey.
So the thing with the Wraith Guard, they do still cost 45 points each if you want the D Scythe.
Which you want the D Scythe.
That's the Flamer one.
Hmm.
Which is arguably not the one that you want because it's Assault D3, Strength 10, AP -1, 1 damage.
Yeah.
8-inch range.
Hmm. I remember
Whereas
someone tried to tell me that was a huge combo at one point, and I don't really see it.
Well, yeah. At some point, it was a case of I think you teleport them across the board and shoot them. But now they're not that good. I don't think.
Yeah. Well, again, a lot of this will be depending on when the book comes out too. It's whether we get the Eldar book before the next chapter approved. That's the question you got to ask. Because that means we'll be getting them, in the next technically year from this point. But we'll see.
There a chance that in the chapter approved, do we know if any points will be going up?
They haven't said about anything going up yet. The Raider,
Because
I already know for a fact the Raider has gone up in points, and apparently it's gone up a lot.
What I was gonna say was, is Drakari gonna be
Yes.
taking a hit from the Nerf bat?
Well, Raiders especially, I know for a fact have gone up. How much are they now? How much is a Raider?
What in
points, just base loadout?
I can't remember.
Because I think they went up. They're over 100 points now.
85.
They're definitely over 100 points now.
Oh my god, that's a huge whack then.
Because to be fair, it's kind of justifiable considering what a Raider has in it.
Yes.
It's a big transport capacity with a 4-up invuln with stratagems to keep it alive, and it has Dark Lances.
And it's open topped.
Yeah.
And it's open topped, yeah. It's depending on, it's like, okay, mark it as 100 points. I know for a fact it's higher than 100 points. I think it's like 105, 110 ish. But even then, that's a lot for a Raider.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. That's obviously, it's not going to stop people taking them. It's going to be more people will just take less other stuff.
I think it's gonna be. I think you'll see more Venoms because of it.
Yeah, I think that to be fair, Venoms are still good. Venoms are good. Just people don't need to take them because Raiders are better. It's like, hey, I pay 20 more points and I get more capacity, a better gun, a 4-up invuln. Fuck it, yeah, I'm always taking that.
But if it becomes I'm paying 40 more points,
then
it's something to think about.
That's true. So yeah, in terms of that, these will have the these will be the up-to-date points as well for Orcs and Sisters will be involved in this. So if you want to know your points ahead of time and you can get used to it, it'll be in this. Most people will be getting this because it's the Grand Tournament pack, because it's more missions, great, and the changes to secondaries. They did also say, and they've actually made a confession of they've done the fuck up, or things are happening. That the point values featured in this for the Thousand Sons and the Grey Knights are going to be incorrect. Because they were expecting their codexes to be out by now. But because of all the delays, they're not coming out. However, they've shown off the covers, and most likely these will be out in August.
I'll be back in a quick second. You can carry on.
Yeah, go for it.
So, are the points in the book the points that should be for the codex?
No, these are... They've actually listed, they've got the download here for the points.
Yeah, but
and
the ones
these will be the ones in the codex.
The ones that they printed wrong in the chapter
book.
Right?
Yeah.
What are those supposed to be? Are those the ones that are, like, currently?
I assume so.
Points? Like, I don't understand how they managed to fuck it up.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, but like the updated point values, the point values they've got in this for this download, these are the point values that are going to be out with their codex. So they've given them to us preemptively. They've also said, because there is Thousand Suns are getting a new HQ, which is listed in the book.
Oh, is it the points values?
It's not on the PDF that they've given here. It is in the actual chapter approved book. It's called the Infernal Master, and there's also probably going to be a thing for the Grey Knights for the character from the box is also going to be in there, so we'll know what they're.
Oh right, yeah, of course.
Yeah, but hey, there are things coming out. The covers are gorgeous. I really like the Grey Knights one.
Yeah,
because it's actually like the army's doing stuff.
Yeah, the dude on the disc is really fucking cool.
And also like the flowy robes with the eyes in it. It's very appropriate. You know, it's a really cool looking cover.
God, I'm trying to paint those eyes into a cloak. I know someone has done that for sure, but like, yeah. that's a lot.
So at least with this the case, people who have got the app, if you've already got the 40k app and you subscribe to that, you don't necessarily need the point values because they'll all be updated. Battle Scribe won't be too far off as well, so bear that in mind. However, you do get the points values anyway for getting the Grand Tournament, so, you know, have fun with that. So, the PDF they've got here, these are the ones that are going to be in. The point values that are going to be in until their codex. Their codex may change. I don't know. But in terms of the Thousand Suns, there's no extra character in here. That's not mentioned. So it's hard to tell what the fuck up is because they've given us the point values, and it's like, right, here's the actual point values. Well, how are they wrong? We can't tell you.
Is it a case that they printed the codex values in the book and then gone, here's the exact same points you currently have, again, use these? Like, this is what you need to refer to?
Maybe.
Or is it... Because I haven't checked to see if these are actually different.
I don't know how... Yeah, we'd have to double check if... We'd actually have to get someone who knows what the original stuff is. And whether it's gone down. I mean, Cavalry Drago's 190 points. Paladins, which are your main troops. A Strike Squad is 20 points base.
What do your Land Raider costs?
A Land Raider in here
265.
is... Oh yeah, 265, yeah. So they're all 265.
Yeah, all base.
Yeah. Okay, right, because actually some of them had way different weapon loadouts, which made them more pricey. So, yeah. It's hard to tell, but hey, we've got the new codexes here. I think this will be a double release because they're only getting one model each. And they'll be getting a starter. They'll be getting the 2-player box, right? So, at that point, you know, it's going to be August. July is Orc month. Maybe it depends on whether I think Sisters will probably be the end of June. Sisters will be end of June, Orcs will be middle of July, and then August will be these two. Hopefully both of them.
It'll be both of them. I think it'll definitely be both.
Last week of June because they're gonna need to get the Age of Sigmar stuff out.
Also true, yeah. We'll have to double check actually. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell because other things are coming out at the same time. But yeah. Those are the cases, but hey, we know they're coming. Cool, we got a cover. We probably won't be covering the points changes because we don't know what the original amounts are. We're just going to be like, hey, we'll talk about when people make a big stink about and they actually show us the before and after. And we're like, oh, because that's easier. It's easier to wait for people to complain first.
The best way to make content is for wait to other people to make content
and then make content off of their content. It's great. I mean, to be fair as well, like, hey, this is coming out. My admech points aren't going to change because they'll be printed in the back of the book. That's all I need. That's all I care about. And considering, you know, that Vanguard got cheaper, and it's also probably going to be like the meta option now is to take, because you can take Vanguards in squads of 20 now. You couldn't do that before. It's fucking crazy. And I think, to be fair, you can make them really fucking scary with their guns now. I kind of like it. I wanted Radmeme to be better, and now they have made it better. I'm like, ooh. Well, okay, they haven't made Radmeme better. They've made the unit better.
I was going to say, if you're taking 20 radium carbines, then that's, what, 60 shots?
Yeah, they're Assault 3. Strength 3, and then you can make their stratagems, which make them wound better.
So gross.
It's pretty fun.
It's so many shots.
I think they still got the damage too. on the sixes. I think the only one that changed was the galvanic rifles because they got inbuilt AP now, which also means ranges are really good.
Didn't it change to on a 6 to hit auto wounds?
Oh yes, it did. Yes, it did. So I'll say just fucking
so
60 shots auto wounding on 6s. Fuck yeah, I'm taking that.
They're kind of nutty.
Yeah, and plus you can make them hit better and be like, and also their rad saturation, by the way, because okay, we're kind of talking more about Admech. We'll leave these. We'll kind of cut it off here and move on. As the kind of the end bit. I'm super excited to read through the book from what I've already seen. Yeah, because rad saturation now affects strength and toughness. So those orc boys, John, when they charge my lads, they're strength 3.
Why do they turn into guardsmen?
Because it's funny. Strength 3 Marines. Because radiation sickness.
If you charge a grot at
Strength
Vanguard,
1.
it just kind of like shrivels away.
It's great. And to be fair, it's like okay, but also it makes the Book of Rust one better because you could have the thing for Metallica, which means that you had a bigger range on your radiation, which means they're minus strength and toughness, and then you can still shoot them. Which means also, by the way, that means your Radmium Carbines are wounding Guardsmen on 3s and Marines on 4s.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's pretty good. That's really good. And it might make it affect vehicles? Fuck yeah. Admech are gonna be really spicy. From what I've already had through read-throughs, I don't know all the rules yet because I don't have the book in front of me. But from initial reviews, I mean, also weird thing, breaches are bikers now. Breaches and destroyers are bikers, which also means they get no fucking cover.
That makes sense because they're huge, but also
they can go through terrain because they have the tracks, the D3. They don't have the moving and shooting penalty anymore. And they're also +1 save. They're all +1 to their save and toughness. So, breaches are a 2-up save and are toughness 6. No. I think they're still toughness 5, but I think they all just got +1 save.
Right, okay.
So, yeah, breaches are a 2-up save now, which is fucking crazy. I believe they still get a 6-up invuln. I'm pretty sure everything still gets a 6-up invuln because bionics.
Yeah, everything is still bionic.
Which is still good. Like, hey, a 6-up invuln is an army trait. Like, that's just what, like, oh, my entire army has a 6-up invuln. It's like, oh, cool. Yep. I have a 2-up save and a 6-up invuln. Get fucked. Actually, no, yeah, that's the Death Skulls thing entirely, plus luck.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think breaches are going to be strong, but I think there's a lot of other things to be scared of. I think Skitari are going to be the way more prevalent thing coming out of this book. Because all the Skitari stuff, yes, you've got the like because of the new benediction, what are they called? Doctrina Imperatives. They are really good. And Skitari are just flat out good now. They're just so much better. And they're so cheap for what they do. You know? They're like, I think they're 7 points a model. And like the weapon upgrades are free. Basically between them. Like Vanguard and Rangers are the same price now. It's like, okay, sick. Plasma Calibers, great. However, they made it so that the weird thing is because they're doing this thing now with all the rules where it's a per box basis. So if you can't kit bash and be like, right, I have to buy, this squad's going to have, at 10 people, it's going to have, you know, more plasma. It's like, no, there is 1 plasma gun per 10, I think. You get 1 of each special weapon per 10. So you can't have the 2 Arquebuy in a squad of 5 anymore. Can't do that. It's only 1 now. And then, even at 10, you still can't get a second Arquebuy. It has to be of a different special weapon.
So, I was going to say, they didn't do that with Drukhari.
Yes, it did.
Well, I was going to say, at least, I guess because the box didn't change for the Kabalites.
No, they still got, they already had a lot of weapons anyway.
Well, because the main thing with the Kabalites
came in the kit.
Only 1. You can
So
only have 1 splinter cannon. But only 1 blaster came in the kit as well, and you can have 2 of those per 10.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
Is it just the Arquebuy you can only have 1 of per 10?
No, it's all the special weapons. Arc rifles and plasma.
So you can't have 2 plasma or 2
Not in a 10-man unit. It has to be 1 plasma, 1 arc, 1 Arquebuy. So that's why, like, the 20-man blobs, you can have... But it's of each. So you can have... So you 3 of your guys, you know, you've got...
Arcade
so
out,
out of 10, you've got 1 plasma and an arc. And in a 20, that you got 2 plasma, 2 arc. Which isn't bad. I'm kind of annoyed by that. It's not great, but to be fair, all of the other weapons have become really good now, so I don't really give a shit. If I want arc, I'll take breaches. If I want plasma, I'll take destroyers. My rangers and my vanguard are going to be more relying on their main weapons, more than anything else. But to be fair, that ruling kind of concerns me for when the Tempestus stuff comes out, because it's only 1 special weapon per 5. There's only, like, you can fit in, you get 1 melter gun in a box, in the standard box, and 1 plasma, and 1 grenade launcher, and 1 volley gun. But you could take 4 of them currently in a squad of 10.
Yeah.
It's like,
because they used to just load up on them, didn't they?
yeah, exactly. Same with
like,
Guardsmen.
this is my melter squad, and that's
like,
everything
I've
they
got
have.
4 melters in this squad. I have 4 plasma in that one, and 4 volley guns. Like, that's gonna probably fucking disappear, and I'm scared. But I'm going to wait until that book comes out, at the very least. I want to have mech. I'm really hoping it turns up Saturday. It probably won't, because it's GW in the postage system, and especially with me, people will get their book early, and I will always get my book late. And it fucking sucks.
A good few days.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna wait until like middle of next week. But in the meantime, we're gonna wrap it up there, because it's just been me complaining. Unless you guys have got anything else you want to add at the end.
Finish the Drukari model while we were doing this.
I'm proud of you. We're all
There you
very
go.
proud.
Quality stuff.
Yes.
Hating myself a lady.
Yeah. Cool. So, right. Thank you all very, 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 very much for watching and listening, depending on where you are consuming this content. If you are currently on YouTube, please drop us a like, drop a comment, and subscribe to the channel. There are more things coming. It just takes time. If you're on Twitch, drop us a follow. We're hoping to try and get closer and closer to affiliate so that we can do things. And we are going to do a giveaway when we get to affiliate status, which will be really cool. We're going to try and maybe do a start collecting or a combat patrol, depending on value. Maybe even an Underworld's Warband, see what we can get a hold of. And we will be doing that when we reach affiliate, which I believe is over 100 followers. So that's the goal. We're going to try and get there. If you are listening to this on the audio things, make sure to subscribe to the RSS feed or on Spotify, and make sure to just be following it so you can get up to date whenever we post out a new episode. And that's about it. Follow us on the Twitters and Instagrams. In terms of upcoming content, we will not be doing a co-stream on the Saturday because myself and John aren't here. We won't be doing anything on Sunday either. I was hoping to try and maybe get a Sigmar game in, but I'm going to be away from my PC for the day. So maybe Monday? But at the same time, if we're not doing a battle, I will be definitely going through in a dedicated stream, going through either the Admech book if I've got it, or going through the Soulblight Gravelord book, and just having a good thing, just so we can turn it into a video. It'd be great. We'll have a good time. Apart from that, that's going to be everything. We will see you in the next stream, or hopefully next podcast. Thank you very much for watching and listening. Have a great evening, everyone.
Pleasure. Good night.